They, at this time, one of the things that they charged Jesus with, they called him a sinner because he healed the man on the Sabbath, and he also used spittle, which they considered to be medicinal, on the Sabbath. Oh, he could have used it at 6 o'clock that evening. Would have been the next day, right? It had been Sunday, and it would have been fine at 6 o'clock that afternoon for him to do this. But doing it prior to 6 o'clock, when the day changed till the next day, was a sin. And they called him a sinner. Can you imagine calling the Son of God a sinner? But that's the mindset that was in Israel at that time. And so he had done something wrong by using spittle as a medicinal purpose on the man's eyes. Doesn't make a lot of sense to us today, but anyway. The blind man was intelligent. In fact, he put the Pharisees where they needed to be, didn't he? He hushed them up. He says, it took 3 times, right? First time they asked him, said, who is he? Man called Jesus. Who is he in verse 17? He's a prophet. Who is he in 38? He's a sinner do such miracles. Verse 25, the man. He answered and said, whether he be a sinner or no, I know not. One thing I know, whereas I was blind, now I see. Wow. Can you imagine being his neighbor, his mother and dad? You know, his mother and dad had said, he's of age, you go ask him. Why did they say that? Because if they had said it's Jesus the Christ, the Son of the living God that did it, they'd be thrown out of the synagogue also. Excommunicated, as we call it in our time. But he says, now I see. Now I see. When Jesus heard that they had cast him out, when he had found him, he said unto him, dost thou believe on the Son of God? And he answered and said, who is he? And that I might believe on him. And Jesus said unto him, thou hast both seen him, and it is he that talketh with thee. And he said, Lord, I believe. And he worshiped him. Hello? Hello. regardless of what the neighbors thought, regardless of what the chief priests thought, regardless of what the Pharisees thought, he worshiped Jesus the Christ, the Son of the living God. Why is this story there for us? Well, it builds our faith, one, that there's a story of such a one, but we don't have his name. What would you say about us? What would you say about me? What would the writer John say about us today? Would you say they believe? They'll do? They stand up? You do. This is Wednesday, right? This is not Sunday. This is Wednesday night. It's not mandatory anywhere in the New Testament that there be a midweek service, is there? No. But it says do what the elders ask you to do. And we decided there ought to be a Wednesday night service so that we can be refreshed during the middle of the week. Believing in God. But is that what he'd say about us? They believe. Thank you for your attention. Appreciate it.